And once you hear that sound, you know that, let me think, what kind of description do I want to use today? Ghana's finest, Malik Abbas Dabo.
And it's just me.
And it's
and
just
there's
you.
no Raymond to contradict what I say.
Exactly.
I take it.
Ghana's finest, Malik Abbas
it.
Dabo is joining me this morning for the news review. Good morning to you, Raymond. Aqua, we miss you. Raymond is not here with us this morning. So it's just
He's
the two of us.
gallivanting in the Garden City.
Yes, it's just the two of us this morning. So let's do the headlines, Malik.
Let's start with the Gold Street business anymore. Front page stories of the Gold Street business. SEC plans 20-fold capital hike for fund managers, and SEC is Securities and Exchange Commission. Business registration rise further first half 2019 as economy formalization initiatives pay off. Other stories on the front page of the Gold Street business. Government commences energy sector reforms.
On the front page of the Chronicle, resign or get fired. Atu Arthur warns public servants interested in going into politics. Importers complain of frustrations at the Tema port. Fake lotto operators blackmailing government. That's according to Lotto Coins. And NDC can no longer flex muscles in the Upper East. That's according to Minister. Also, the Chronicle has a special expose on Western Region and oil.
The Daily Guide newspaper front page stories. Bawumia launches 100,000 housing projects. Chiraj closes in on PPA boss, given 10 days. Asantehene marks Akwesidai in London. Autopsy on Otumfuo's chief underway.
On the front page of the Finder, Lotto war deepens. Lotto marketing companies back NLA's license regime, but Ghana Lotto Operators Association is angry. Also, government committed to SDGs Agenda 2030 Chief of Staff remunerate on the score of efficiency. That's according to the senior minister. Aflao Immigration Service rescues 57 women from trafficking, and Ghana Hotels Association calls for synchronization of regulatory bodies.
Anyway, Chiraj's letter to the PPA boss is also on the front page of the Ghanaian Observer newspaper. Other stories: MPP youth prepared to take over parliament as 2020 parliamentary race hots up. Sword cutting for Palugo multi-purpose dam slated for November 2019. Bawumia donates 20,000 towards completion of Waluwale Catholic Priest Rectorate. Adonko Bitters wins Ghana's Best Bitters Award. Adonko Bitters.
On the front page of the Today newspaper, stop multiple sale of lands. Go ahead with Ahumba Kesi Festival. That's according to the court. The hard truth about Bank of Ghana's $62 million transfer.
The Herald newspaper. Larry Alansdogbe's Herald, as Raymond would say. Energy Minister and Flagstaff House elements messing up bust. Akufo-Addo hasn't bought me. That's Rollins stating. Vehicle with boxes of ammunition in accident at Okponglu, and SNIT directs members to update records.
On the front page of the New Crusading Guide, Information Minister takes on Nyaho Tamaklo, says corruption claims lack basis. Bono Regional Minister refutes corruption allegation. Tension rocks Pram Homowo. Greater Accra Regional Minister fingered, and Zaneto knocks out Valerie Sawyers. Boy, that's the front page of the New Crusading
The Daily
Guide.
Statesman newspaper, the Chiraj story is here. Dankwa Institute on the financial sector cleanup. $300 million Palugo Dam deal sealed. Vice President leads stakeholders to start work in November.
And finally, from me on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, National Food Buffer Stock Company poised to help farmers. 65 houses burnt, livestock killed by unidentified men. 6 perish, others injured in horrific accidents on the Nadoliwa Highway. Northern Region declares war against criminals. Police military to keep 24-hour surveillance on hotspots. And on the back page of the Ghanaian Times, program to nurture graduates for placements in civil service launch.
I have the Daily Graphic newspaper. Cloth dealers cashing on new JHS uniforms, but GES yet to make fabrics available. Have you bought any for Kekeli or?
They are not at that level yet.
Okay. Other stories on the front page of the Daily Graphic. Couples sue Ideal Capital over locked up cash. Special prosecutor summons 2 over alleged corruption. Back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Northern Regional Security Council declares war on criminals. Last story, new office for Gan South Municipal Assembly inaugurated. Anima, let's type with the Daily Graphic newspaper. And there's an interesting story on page 16 of the Daily Graphic dealing with a suit filed by a couple against Ideal Capital fund managers because money they lodged with the company, they have not been able to cash it. So they have brought a suit at the court, Commercial Division of the High Court, asking that the court should order for this money to be retrieved. Now, the couple here, I'm talking about Derek David Mensah Asamoah and his wife, Mrs. Edith Barbara Annan Asamoah. They lodged a complaint. They brought a case in the High Court. And their case is that they lodged 2.5 million Ghana cedis with Ideal Fund Managers. Ideal Capital fund managers. They lodged this money in two separate tranches. The first tranche they paid in February 19, 2018. They deposited 2 million. Now, when they deposited the 2 million, it was for 6 months. The amount was to mature on August 20th. Now, but before the August 20th, when this 2 million amount would have matured, on April 16, 2018, they lodged another 500,000 Ghana cedis. That amount was to mature on July 16th. Now, on July 16th, that amount matured. They were paid an interest of 32,410. That was specifically on July 16th. Now, when they took that interest, the amount was rolled over again. The amount they paid, the 500,000 was paid for 3 months, unlike the 2 million, which was for 6 months. So the 3 months matured. They took the interest of 32,410 Ghana cedis, and then they rolled over the 500,000 again. Now, but before the maturation of both investment, they wrote to the company asking that they wanted to discontinue with the investment and take their money. But the company failed to pay them. And even when the maturation period came, the company still did not pay. But according to them, the company illegally rolled over both investments. Now, they went to court asking that this money be paid them. They also filed a petition to the Council of State, the members of the Council of State, because the founder of the company is a member of the Council of State. And I'm talking Oko Jani. They want the Council of State to investigate the involvement of the founder of the company in the inability of the company to pay them their investment. And they think that they deserve the money, they should be paid together with the interest that should accrue to them on the back of the investment that they have made. Now, the company has a defense. The company's defense is that they are making efforts to pay. In fact, they have paid some. They made some payments to this couple in spite of all of the challenges within the financial sector. The couple says, well, the payments that you are making to us, in fact, the couple described it as epileptic payments that are being made. The company nonetheless insists that, look, it is taking all the steps that are needed to raise the money and it will be paid. He said the financial challenges created panic withdrawals, and it is the panic withdrawals that have made it practically impossible for them to make all the payments that they have to make to the couple. But this is an interesting case that we have to follow and see how it goes. Except that it's surprising that when all of the central bank decided taking decisions as far back as 2017 in relation to the financial sector cleanup, in February 2018, investments are still being made with such huge sums.
You know, Malik, it's the scary thing about the financial sector crisis or the banking crisis is now when you have money and you want to invest it, you're thinking twice or thrice about where to put it. Because I can imagine for this couple how frustrating it is to have put this amount of money, and there's nothing more frustrating than trying to get your own money back.
Yeah.
You know, it's different if somebody's giving you money or if it's even interest on money, but your own actual capital and you're having to fight for it like this. It's a very difficult time.
Yeah. So now the couple want Mr. Samuel Lord Niko Tejani, who is a founder and a director of the company Ideal Capital Fund Managers, to be investigated.
Okay, Malik. So this place is somewhere that you're familiar with.
Bakurugu. No.
You're not familiar.
I've never even heard the name
I got
before.
what I wanted from you. So 65 houses have been burnt and livestock killed in that area. So it's a Fulani community in the Karaga district of the northern region. And what's happening is that there's some areas have been burnt by unidentified armed men. So these armed men came into the community. They shot and killed livestock, particularly cattle and sheep, which belongs to the Fulanis, and set ablaze some motorcycles, bicycles, and money. Now, the Northern Regional Public Relations Officer, Deputy Superintendent of Police Yusuf Mohammed Tanko, has confirmed the story. He said that 4 Fulanis sustained gunshots and cutlass wounds and were presently receiving treatment at the Tamalgu community-based health planning and services compound. He said that the police have dispatched more police personnel so that they're protecting lives and area in that country. And it's not just that particular area in the northern region, but the Northern Regional Security Council, RECSEC, has also said that they'll continue in their efforts to ensure that peace, law, and order prevail in that region. And Mr. Salifu Said, he's the Northern Regional Minister and Chairman of RECSEC, and he says that an all-out war has been declared. Apparently what has been happening is that there have been worrying incidences of vehicle snatching and communal disagreements, and these are quickly becoming violent and threatening the security in that region. And so they're going to be very, very vigilant to try and maintain some peace in that region.
The Regional Security Council is always busy
in that area. Yes,
absolutely. There seem to be too many conflicts there. But it's not only the Regional Security Council in the northern regions that is busy. The Special Prosecutor Martin Alamisi Amidu is also busy.
Also very busy,
yes. So he's summoning two persons over alleged corruption. And these two officials are Kingsley Ajimai, the registrar, and Mr. Richard Boedu, the administrator. These are officers with the Get Fund Secretariat, the Ghana Education Trust Fund, Get Fund Secretariat, and the Scholarship Secretariat. Now, these two officers, according to Mr. Martin Amidu's letter to them, are being investigated for matters relating to corruption. Now, the letter which was sent by Mr. Amidu, let me just read a part of it. It says the office has been conducting preliminary investigations into suspected commission of corruption and corruption-related offences in the nature of use of public office for private profit or benefit, contrary to, he gave sections of the law. That the matters of preliminary investigations have reached such a stage that instructions for a full investigation into possible use of public office for private gain or benefit in the award of scholarship to needy students have been issued. Now, these two officers who work with the Scholarship Secretariat and the Get Fund, and you know that these institutions are responsible for the issuance of scholarship and the provision of money for people to study both locally and abroad. The two persons there are alleged to have been involved in some corruption-related offences, for which reason the special prosecutor is inviting them. Note that yesterday I was talking about the special prosecutor writing to the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service, asking for a docket in relation to some $15 million, which was supposed to be expended for the benefit of some communities in the Cape 3 area. This time around, it is about scholarship. In fact, on social media yesterday, there were hints about some officials of these institutions, Get Fund and the Scholarship Secretariat, taking money and awarding scholarships to people, sometimes undeserving people. It is not exactly clear what the specific allegation of corruption against these two officials are, because the letter by Martin Amidu to the two officials does not specifically state the nature of the allegations against them, except to say it's conducting investigations. The office is conducting investigations, and these investigations relate to the office being used for the two offices being used for private gain by these two persons. It is in respect of that they are invited to meet with a special prosecutor to answer questions in relation to their conduct. Of course, the Daily Graphic reached out to them. One of them said he is willing, denies any allegations, but says he's willing to appear before the special prosecutor to answer any questions. The other person the Daily Graphic could not reach, he's out of town, but he has a date with the special prosecutor. So Martin Amidu is busy.
Yes, clearly. But Malik, it's very abysmal. For the past few weeks, we've been hearing so much of these kinds of things. People who are in power, who are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, who are abusing their authority. But I have some good news for you. Today on Corruption Watch, we're celebrating people who work in the Ghana, officers who work in the Ghana Immigration Service. And what they have done is that they refuse bribe.
Oh.
So we're celebrating the good things, because sometimes we focus a lot on the bad things and we forget that there are some, men of honor, women of honor out there. And so Corruption Watch
That's
today,
encouraging.
yes, we'll be doing that.
Even if it's a drop in the ocean.
A droplet. But talking about things that are encouraging, 57 women have been rescued from trafficking in Aflao. So the Ghana Immigration Service, once again, Mr. Frederick Badod, who is the Chief Superintendent of the Immigration in Aflao, has told us that 57 adult females suspected of being trafficked to the Gulf regions have been rescued between January and July today. And January and July this year, that we focused a lot recently on child trafficking. And so sometimes our minds go off the fact that women are still being trafficked. They're being sold either as house girls. They're sold for sex. Really, they become sex workers, and they're sent to places to perform all sorts of tasks. A lot of which
in baby manufacturing companies.
Baby man. A lot of which we never hear about. But anyway, 57 of them have been rescued this year already. He said that this is happening possibly because the anti-human smuggling and trafficking persons units in that area have stepped up their vigilance. The other thing that's worrying about this story is that, Malik, it's not just the young ladies that are being smuggled, but it seems as if there are also a lot of people who are trying to enter the country. So about 540 West African nationals made up of Nigerians, Nigerians, Cameroonians, and Togolese have been repatriated and refused entry as well. They're trying to come in. And then also other people who are trying to go out of Ghana to Europe through Algeria and Morocco, and then they are sent back. You remember a few weeks ago we did a story of two boys who got all the way to Germany and then they were sent all the way. Charlie, that must be painful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know people who have suffered that as well.
Oh, really?
But anymore, there's hope. There's hope in the Upper East region.
Okay.
There's hope because construction of the multi-purpose Kalugu Dam is slated to start in November this year. It will take 3.5 years to complete, but this Kalugu Dam is supposed to deal with a gamut of problems. Chief amongst them, flooding. You know that every year when the Bagri Dam is spilled in Burkina Faso, large tracts of land, in fact, 7,489 hectares of farmland were destroyed in 2018 when the Bagri Dam was opened. Currently, the people living around the area are being sensitized to move to higher grounds because the Bagri Dam is about to be spilled in the next few days. Since 1957, there have been plans to construct a dam in the White Volta around the area to be able to contain the water that comes from the Bagri Dam, which is up north. But the plans have not materialized. In fact, in the 1990s, they started doing some work on it. It's fizzled out. 2013, they started work again. The Agence Française de Développement helped with some funding, helped the VRA, the Volta River Authority, with some funding, with technical support from the World Bank to try and bring this dam to life. They completed their work in 2018. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia met stakeholders, VRA, Finance Ministry officials, all important people involved, and it is planned that by November this year, construction will start. Now, this project is supposed to have a powerhouse which will consist of 2 turbines with 60 megawatts of power installed capacity and 16.5 megawatts of firm continuous capacity, as well as 15-kilometer overhead line to export power to an existing transmission line. There are other things that is supposed to irrigate 25,000 hectares of land in the area as well, and this will increase rice production and help with the government's agenda to not import rice into Ghana.
I saw that in the papers this morning.
Absolutely,
well.
we are spending odious amount of money to import rice.
Right.
The irrigation that will make it, according to the story which is in the Daily Statesman newspaper, it will make it the largest irrigation project in the country. So that there are several other facilities that will be part of this dam.
It sounds really good. I hope that for the sake of us all, that everything that is planned is executed as promised.
Because if it's been planned since 1990 and it hasn't happened,
well,
we have
the
to
time
really
is
hope.
now.
We have to absolutely.
The time is now. Amen.
Amen. And maybe pray.
Yes. Thank you very much for that, Malik Abastabo. Moving on to the online news review is brought to you by Zenith Bank, in your best interest, and GOIL Good Energy. Make your day productive by relying on quality fuel from GOIL, your 3-time CIMG Petroleum Company of the Year. GOIL Super XP and Diesel XP are additivated to enhance strong engine performance and prolong the lifespan of your vehicle. Above all, you're guaranteed extra quality with our fuel analyzer from our mobile laboratory van. Get your money's worth every day by buying fuel and lubricants from any of GOIL's over 360 service stations nationwide and experience good energy. Buy GOIL, grow Ghana. GOIL Good Energy. GOIL Yenara Yedia. And at Zenith Bank, helping you save time is our priority. Enjoy 3 great instant services at any Zenith Bank branch nationwide, as well as at our Ho and Winneba agencies. Number 1, instant issuance of Visa and MasterCard debit and prepaid cards. Number 2, instant replacement of Visa credit cards. Number 3, instant self-generated electronic pins for instantly issued cards. Make the smart choice. Think speed, think Zenith. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. And My Joy Online is reporting PPA boss to be hauled before GIPS Ethics and Professional Standards Committee. The Ghana Institute of Procurement and Supply say they will cause the Public Procurement Authority boss to appear before the Institute's Ethics and Professional Standards Committee. Also reporting on My Joy Online, Nyaho Tamaklo's corruption claims lack basis. That's according to the Minister for Information, Mr. Kojo Ponkrumah. He says that claims by Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo that corruption in the Akufo-Addo-led government is the worst in the country's history lacks basis. You can check out My Joy Online for more on that story. AdumOnline.com. Lotto operators threaten sit-down strike. The Association of Lotto Marketing Companies is threatening a 2-week sit-down strike. This is due to what it says are delays by the National Lottery Authority to streamline the activities of illegal private lotto operators, popularly known as banker to banker. And BBC.com. Lorries stranded in Mali amid poor roads protests. So hundreds of lorries and other vehicles have been blocked from entering the capital of Mali, Bamako, on the 4th day of a protest over the poor state of the country's roads. You can check out more stories on the BBC.com as well. Malik, thank you very much for joining me this morning. And we'll take these messages. We'll be back for the BBC News at 7.